Hello and welcome back to Tits, Tums and All Things Mum. I am here with the lovely Skye today, your, in theory, third time on the podcast. Because you've got your episode, the 100th episode, and now this one.
How weird is that? To think this time last year I'd never been on one, and now I've been... Yeah.
And now we're in the studio.
I know, that's so exciting.
Yeah. And we had the best time at the 100th episode.
It was so good. Everyone loved it.
I'm loving having everyone back for like their own episodes now.
It's nice.
Like little post 100th episode debriefs.
I love how you've like brought everyone together as well. Like it feels like such a community now.
And we're still in a group chat and we all just like support each other and love on each other.
Usually I'm like, I'm getting out of there as soon as possible.
I know.
Group chat, but
Emma from Cover My Bubble said that today. She was like, yours is the only group chat that I'm still in, by the way, because I just love everyone. I was like, yes, on for the winner.
Yeah. But you're going from strength to strength.
Ah, thank you, darling. As are you. But could you start by telling everybody a little bit about yourself?
Yeah. So I'm Skye, mum of two from Essex. I talk a lot about mental health on my account, which is at Mummys Mental. And take that however you want.
Yeah, such a good name.
So yeah, that's me. I talk a lot about mental health. I am training to be a counsellor at the moment. I'm not sure if it's necessarily the direction I'm definitely going to go down, but it's certainly helped me in mentoring, in just generally life, in talking to people, and all of the mums that I talk to and stuff, and in my own life as well, my own relationships with everyone around me. So.
Maybe in schools they should get rid of like algebra and replace it with counselling.
Yes, emotional intelligence class.
Yeah, like an emotional intelligence class, because some people make it to adulthood with absolutely no emotional intelligence. Yeah. And it would be great. Like I probably had none until I was like 30 when I started doing self-development. And
you go on that journey.
Yeah.
I think I said it in the last one as well. I think with young ones, like what is the point in learning all of these things, being the smartest, the fittest, the, I don't know, best looking, like all of these things that you can achieve, what is the point of being the smartest person alive if you don't actually want to be alive? Like you need to learn how to be able to feel all of your feelings and to work through all that and to be emotionally intelligent.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
and if you get to the point where you do have kids, it's such a good thing to be able to then teach them as well.
Yeah, and all it does is like strengthen your relationships with everyone around you because, you're aware of how you might be projecting onto others and all sorts of stuff. Like it literally just... It changes your life when you learn it, I think.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely changed my relationships, and when I look back at past relationships, I kind of...
cringe.
I can see where I went wrong,
you're like,
basically.
oh man.
I'm like,
especially when you start seeing patterns. You're like, oh, I'm doing this again.
Oh, no. But like, I mean, those are in the past now, but going forward, you can be like, you can correct those things so that your relationships that you do have are good ones.
Yeah, because you still make mistakes. Even if you're like totally aware of all of this stuff, you're still a human. Yeah. You're still... Things happen, you still get stressed and overwhelmed and things, but it's really good to have the reflection and to be able to take accountability of that and go, do you know what, yesterday I really snapped your head off and I think it was actually just me being triggered by this because of whatever, and to really be able to like unpack that and not just direct it towards someone.
Yeah, definitely. And being able to teach that to kids as well, because I snap at my kids fairly often, but I've learnt now to apologise and be like, Mummy was really stressed, I'm so sorry that I shouted, and then like we'll do something nice and
repair from it. Do you know what though, that's all kids actually want from their parents. They don't want a perfect person. They want someone who they can just connect with, who's real with them, and they just want their mum. And the more that you can take accountability for who you are as a person, the better your connection's going to be.
Yeah, definitely. And on the topic of talking about like snapping at your kids, you've been talking a lot recently about perfect mother syndrome. Yeah. And I'm in your group about that Perfect Mum Club as well. Yeah. And you're talking just a lot about parenting and how you don't have to be the perfect mum. So what's your kind of thoughts on what perfect mother syndrome is? That's a real tongue twister. I cannot say that with a list. Perfect mother syndrome.
I'll try and come up with something easy next time. PMS? I don't know. Another.
PMS, I mean, we struggle with that every month. But yeah.
Yeah, so basically I suffered with it myself. When my firstborn was born, I don't know. So I came from like a good career and stuff, and I was used to getting everything right. I was the good girl. Not saying that I haven't done bad things, but I was, the good girl. I achieved. I was strived for perfection, really. And then when I became a mum to my firstborn, I just took that role ever so seriously and felt incredibly responsible. Obviously, you want to feel that way, but I think I maybe took it a step too far, where I just became obsessed and went down a rabbit hole of child development and reading all of the books, trying to get weaning right, sleep right, and just trying to get everything right all the time and feeling criticised and judged left, right and centre. And it really just left me feeling quite burnt out and, with issues with perfectionism, a low self-esteem, all sorts, really, having weak, wobbly boundaries. And, it's just... And I just basically have given it a label of perfect mother syndrome, where you're just like so full of anxiety and have to get it right, and I'm messing up my kids and just all the stress of it. And I kind of gave it a name because it helped me recognise what it is. Like it's that monkey on my shoulder sort of thing of, perfect mother syndrome. Oh, there you are again, rearing your ugly head, telling me I'm not doing good enough, or that I'm not enough, or that my kids need more, or it's like a place of guilt and shame, and it's getting rid of that. So it's like, the perfect mother syndrome is just a name for basically anxiety, burnout and everything. And it helps me combat it and work through it. Yeah. So that's what it is.
But it's so hard, isn't it, though? Because so much of this current generation are analysing how we were brought up and saying our parents put us into therapy. But actually, definitely in my case, my mum wasn't that bad. She was doing the best with what she had. She was quite a shouty mum. But that's just how she was taught, that's how she was brought up. Her dad was very shouty.
We've got it's brilliant, don't get me wrong. I think it is great that we have so much access to education and information and all of this research that's come out. I think it's great. And I love the scripts because it really helps you change your blueprint of what you're used to. So if, you're used to saying you're to be seen and not heard. Oh, actually, you are allowed a voice. It's great. The scripts are great. I'm not slating them. Yeah. But it can, like I say, just make you too hardwired to try and get it right. And you're not actually doing that bad. Like you say, it's great that we've got all this access, but sometimes it's too much, and it just sends us to a place of anxiety. You've got a great relationship with your mum. You can say she was a shouty mum, whatever, and still have a good relationship with them. Yeah, exactly. It's okay to be. Yeah. And again, they didn't have access to all of the stuff that we do now. Yeah, exactly. But then it makes you think, doesn't it? If we are saying that our parents put us into therapy, it does make you think oh my God, am I putting my child into therapy? Am I messing up my kid? And there's so many things that I do in day-to-day life, and I'm oh shit, well, she's off to therapy in later life then. Or I'm telling Alec off. We said this in the group chat. We're in a group chat the other day, and we were talking about the differences in parenting, and I always have to tell him off for some of the things that he says to the kids, because I'm now you're putting her in therapy. But you feel like you have to be perfect all the time, don't and it's just not attainable, and it's not actually good for them. So we're thinking, oh God, we're going to put them in therapy. But actually we're just going to put them in a new type of therapy for being such perfectionists. They're going to end up but this was such a I know. So this is really depressing, but also really empowering. And this was a huge moment for me. And I've never told anyone this before because it's too vulnerable, and I don't like being vulnerable, but here we go.
What's the best time to do it? When you're on camera.
Great. So I was basically, again, I'm really heavily into child development, emotional intelligence, blah, blah. And I was laying in bed one night listening to, I think his name is Gabor Mate. I don't know if I'm saying that right. I have no idea. But he's this brilliant psychologist. He's just incredible. And he's just worked with children for years. He's got so many amazing books. And he was on a podcast, and I was like, I am definitely listening to that. Yeah. Oh, do you know what? No, it wasn't a podcast. It was a private thing I'd signed up to, which was when people do it to promo, a webinar, that was it. It was a private webinar. And I was like, I've got to make this one. So I'm lying in bed breastfeeding my little girl with the headphones in, trying to be really quiet, not turn it up too loud so she doesn't wake up. Yeah. Listening to Gabor Mate talk about being a parent and all this other stuff. And it was such a realisation moment. And I laid there weeping, sobbing of the realisation of it's impossible to get this right. Yeah. And it was depressing, but also really leaned me into a new what's the word, transformation, like new thing where I was like, this is okay.
Yeah.
But he like explained, I'm saying like so much. So
it's the Essex in
it
you.
is, it's Essex going out. Like basically. No, so he explained how he's a psychologist and there's loads of counsellors out there, like all of these people, and there's like nursery people and early years practitioners and everyone, and they're all like totally really well educated and should know better, in quotes, should know better or whatever, because they're so highly educated, so aware of all of it, and they're still human, they're still going to mess up, and even if you're aware of all that, it's still going to happen. And even if you get it all right, you're going to mess them up by getting it all right.
Oh, yeah.
Like there is
you're
literally
not teaching them that they can make mistakes.
Yeah, exactly. Because then you're just making them feel like they've got to be perfect as well. You're putting it on a pedestal that is just not achievable. Yeah. So you're better off just leaning into it, relaxing. So he made me realise that you are not going to get it right, no matter how much you try. And I laid there going, we're screwed. Everyone's screwed. Why do we even I just got really depressed for quite a moment, but I needed it. Yeah. Because it then got me out of my perfect mother syndrome, where I was just like, I may as well just enjoy it then. Yeah. I may as well just love these kids as best I can. Yeah. Still be myself. And do you know what? My personality came back. Started laughing more and not taking everything so seriously. Shouted a bit more. Yeah. But it's all okay because it just made our relationships better. And I couldn't believe how much it changed my relationship with everyone.
Yeah. Oh wow, that is like I've never even thought about it like that you can be too perfect. Yeah. Like no one ever tells it to you from that point of view, that actually if you are trying to be this like perfect mum,
that can mess them up as well.
We're all fucked.
You're stuck. I know, and it's depressing, and I feel really bad saying this to people because it's like that really, for me, I remember laying there and sobbing at Gabor Mate basically saying this. He did not say it in this way. He's much more articulated than I am.
But he's not saying basically I like everything. No,
and it's not. But I felt like I was watching it and my head was going, so basically we're fucked. Yeah. And I was just like...
But in the best way. We're fucked in the best way.
And now I'm telling everyone. Yeah. But I'm really worried about that because I feel like I'm making everyone depressed.
No, I think that's
but then they come through
a
it.
Revelation.
And then well, I hope so.
And it will hopefully allow people to get rid of some of that perfectionism and just try and enjoy it a bit more and just be a bit more free, because I think
and have less anxiety and burnout and
because I'm always so kind of, I used to be quite a easygoing, like free-spirited, wild person that spent a lot of time laughing, but as a mum, I feel like I've lost a lot of that because I'm too busy being like...
Responsible.
Yeah, responsible. Yeah. I need to tidy the house. We need to do this. You need to brush your teeth. I need to book this appointment. Like, and I'm so... What's the word? Just like uptight all the time. Yeah. And I just want to be a bit more like loose. Is that the word? That's not the word.
Well, hey.
But yeah, just a bit more like easygoing. Yeah. And now knowing that either way, I'm going to fuck them up, I can just relax a bit. So much better. Yeah.
But they'll enjoy it. Like, not my mum, bless her, and my dad, they are quite happy to admit, bless them, that they have made their mistakes, let's say, and they are quite wild characters, and they're not very I don't know what the right word is. I'm going to, again, quotes coming out again, like normal.
They're not normal.
And it was quite, and bless them, I feel really bad now for saying that, because I know they're going to listen to this as well.
Bless them.
I know. Hi. Hi, Mum and Dad. Hi, Mum.
I've told my mum she's banned. She's not allowed to watch or listen to any of my podcasts. I talk about all sorts from me. So I'm like, no, do not.
My mum, bless her, actually said about you as well. She's like, she just really doesn't, like, she's just so confident and doesn't care, does she? And I was like, she's great.
That's because I know my mum's not listening.
Yeah, probably.
Like, stop saying the F word. Stop talking about sex
That's
toys.
That's the thing. My mum... TMI. But my mum really did, she swore a lot, and they smoke, and they, so they are the first to admit that perhaps, there's things that they wish they'd done better. But I think that's really strengthened my relationship with them. Yeah. Especially the fact that they can even say that. Yeah. And it's made them human, and it's really, again, I just love them. It's just really strengthened our relationship. But also they were
doing the best with what they had, because back then smoking was
even if they weren't, like, what does it matter? I still love them. We've still got a great relationship. Exactly. They did, I'm here. here. I think I'm pretty awesome.
Yeah, so. I think you're pretty awesome too. Well done, Mum and Dad. You did a great job.
But yeah, so it's just, I don't know. The old saying, is what it is.
It is what it is. We're here, and there's nothing we can change about how they've parented us, other than kind of looking at how they've parented us and changing how we then parent. Not because they've done a bad job.
This is another quote, you're going to love this.
We recognise what they've done and we want to do differently.
And I know that you love cycle breaking and all of that, but this was a really lovely quote that I found which helped me with that, because there was a time where, I was really hating on the generation above us and annoyed with them for not teaching us some skills that I really needed. And now, but I read a quote and this really helped me move through it, which was, they may not have broken all of the cycles. That doesn't mean they didn't break any.
Yeah.
So, there's stuff that they've been passed down to them that they've, put a block on.
Yeah.
And they've passed down to us, and now we're putting a block on, and our kids are going to do the same.
Yeah.
No matter how hard we try.
I wonder what cycles our kids are going to break.
I know, isn't it? It's exciting and scary all at the same time.
It is, yeah, because it is going to be a never-ending thing. There's always going to be children breaking cycles, because there's always going to be new developments in psychology.
The world is changing as well.
There's new generations. There's always going to be cycle breaking going on, and I think we just have to accept the fact that how we parent is going to be cycle broken.
Yeah.
Is that the way you word it? But as well as perfect mother syndrome, you can always also have perfect wife syndrome.
Oh yeah, the good wife, yeah.
The good wife.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's so much of this on social media with the trad wife thing coming out. Have you seen this trend? There's a lot of trad wives all over.
Yeah. Have you seen the bloke that pretends to be a trad wife?
Oh, is this the black guy?
No, he
but I love him, the black guy. He literally videos himself doing housework, and I watch it like Instagram porn. I love you. You're doing housework.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, no, I haven't seen the other guy.
I don't know. It was just one video I saw. I don't know if it's a whole account, but he's basically just taken the mick of how much. This isn't to take the mick out of trad wives. It's just to sort of highlight the fact that of how much is expected of women, basically, and a lot of the conditioning and how much people are still sort of expect it from the woman rather than the man, which is fine, if people do, but again, it's that pressure. So when I moved in with my other half, I took on, and this is my own doing, I complain about it in my relationship, and I've made myself the victim.
And we do.
Because I don't know if it's like a society thing or if it's their expectation as well, but I really took on the role as his mum. And then when we had kids, I couldn't be his mum anymore because I was too busy mumming our children. So then he had to step up, and it was a whole dynamic relationship change and stuff. And it's so common. And I felt like the only one, and it's actually just so common.
But I also think in once you've had the children, we also put that pressure on ourselves as well. And I don't know how to stop. He would quite happily do the housework, but just not when I want it to be done or to my standards. But if I just let him do it, it would still get done. So I'm like, stop. I wish I could stop myself and just allow him to do it, and then it would be more of an equal split, and then I wouldn't whinge and moan at him, and it wouldn't become an argument. But I'm like, stop. But it's so annoying.
I know, it's hard, but as well because we've got it in us to really get it done sooner and stuff, and we've had more experience because we've been doing it longer, because we've been in this state of playing the good wife that we're not actually fulfilled in and didn't even realise, because we just thought that's what we're meant to do, that's what we'll do. Even though, again, my parents were different. My mum took a mop off me and was like, no, men do that. And when I was young.
My mum was a single mum, so all I saw was my mum doing everything.
Oh, wow, okay.
So I think that's probably why that's
take on so much.
And I'm like, now I have to do everything, the working, the cleaning, the mothering, everything. So it's almost like it's been ingrained in me from watching my mum
Exactly, we just do what we model. What's been modelled to us.
And
that's the thing about cycle breaking as well. We're desperately trying to break the model, trying to show them. It used to always be, do as I say, not as I do. But now we really realise that actually they do just watch us and learn from that. And again, it's that. But then again, it's that added pressure again. Of trying to be the perfect role model that just isn't.
I've just thought they watch what we do, and I'm like, I bend over the dishwasher, and Alec will put a finger in or dry hump me, and I'm like, great, that's what the kids watch you do.
You're modelling a good relationship that still has spark and
modelling
fun.
That's a good thing. Love that. I want to be you know the old couples that you see that still like smack each other's bums when they walk past, or like they're racing on their little mobility scooters.
But the kids love it. Have you seen like the trend that's going around as well, where they hand the phone to the toddler and it's actually facing them and say, "Oh, can you film mummy and daddy?" And mummy and daddy having fun, and they're beaming.
Yeah. So they love seeing all that funny stuff, don't
it's
they?
really nice.
It's really cute. This morning, for once, my children slept through the night.
What?
I was like,
what?
Can I get a hallelujah?
Hallelujah.
I know. I was like, what is this? It was 7:05 and Bailey came in first and then Bella came in after. But we've never had it where they've come into us at the same-ish sort of time and all four of us have just been in the bed like playing,
that's so
tickling
nice.
and like having a laugh together.
I bet it felt like a Disney movie.
Yeah, it was so cute. We've never had it like that before though. Normally like one's up at 5 o'clock and mum or dad are in the living room with them. But yeah, it was just so nice, and to be able to model that like playfulness and all of that.
Oh, well, I hope that continues for you and you're through that phase. Imagine.
I doubt it. Like once in a blue moon that happens.
The fact that you've even said it now as well is going to jinx it.
I know. And then on the school run, I got shit on by a bird. So I was like, this bird is just saying to me like, oh look,
that's
she's
meant to
had
be
a good
luck. But
I know I need to do the lottery actually. I'm not even joking.
If anyone says that,
it shit on my nose. Of all the places it could have shit on my nose. And I was so glad that Alec was on the school run with me, because otherwise I would have had to continue the school run with shit on my nose and all over my top. So he laughed at me and then he was like, you go home, I'll continue the school run. And I was like, oh, thank God. He had the keys to the house though, so I walked home and just sat on my doorstep covered in shit.
Oh no. Like, but at least no one had to see it.
But at least no one had to see me.
You didn't have to go through that embarrassment.
On my nose. But yeah, anyway, back to the story. Modelling fun and love, not getting shit on by a bird. But I was like,
well, that is love, him saying, go on love, you go home.
You go home. It was more because he didn't want to be seen with me covering shit, probably. Really, wasn't it? But yeah, perfect wife syndrome. How do you think we can kind of get out of those habits?
Well, I think like anything, the first step is always to just acknowledge it, admit it, that it's happening, communicate it with others. That's half the battle, I think, is just doing it and not even realising that that's what's going on. You're just feeling unfulfilled, you're feeling stressed, you're feeling like something unhappy, you might be taking it out on your partner, or again, even if they're happy to, sometimes they're not. So that's the problem. What if they're not? You know, a lot of people don't like this realisation, admitting it, recognising it, changing it, because people don't like change, especially if it's not going to benefit them. So a lot of, people are quite happily being cared for, a man or woman. So when that realisation comes in that there is a bit of an unbalance, or that you need to change it, then, sometimes it's not going to be like, oh yeah, okay, let's do this. This is going to benefit our relationship. They're like, what? This feels like a criticism of me. I'm on the defensive, and it's not going to benefit me. So why do I want it to change? So it's really about sort of recognising it and then communicating with them how you're feeling, and then showing them how it is actually going to benefit everyone.
Does that mean you have to put out? Fuck's sake.
Well, it will benefit them, if you take the stuff up the stairs, I'll have energy when we get up there for more activity, won't I? So
will I though? Will I?
Lull them into a false sense of security. Got what I want. I lied. No,
I've got a headache. Oh no, but it's just wild, isn't it, how having children can put so much pressure on your relationship and change your relationship much. Like, I think,
let alone when you add in neurodiversity as well.
Oh, God,
I read the statistics the other day. Statistics. I read those the other day of like the higher the divorce rate and stuff like that, and it's just there's a lot, isn't it?
Well, especially me and Alec. Alec is now slowly coming around to the idea that he thinks he has got ADHD as well.
Really? Yeah.
Imagine 2 people with ADHD and 2 children trying to live together. It's a fucking nightmare. There's just stuff everywhere, but then I'll hyper-focus on cleaning and I'll get cross with him because he's not hyper-focusing on cleaning. And then I'll clean up all the shit, but then he'll go into a hyper-focus on cleaning when I'm not hyper-focusing, and I'll leave shit everywhere.
Or he'll prioritise cutting down a tree in the garden instead of something else.
We invite friends over and he'll be like, right, I'll get on it with the jobs then. And he'll start like... filling up the dishwasher salt, and I'm like, no,
scrub the toilet,
like clean stuff. But and then like he'll hyper focus on like taking up a new hobby, like I don't know, tennis. We've got so many random bits of sport kit in the shed that he's hyper focused on for a little bit, and then he'll prioritise that and we won't have any couples time. But then when he comes back to wanting couples time, I'm hyper-focusing on something. So ADHD, children, relationships, it all changes when you have children. So how have you found your relationship has changed since having kids?
So much.
Yeah,
so much, and we're on such a journey even still. And there's times where it's felt a bit touch and go, but what's really nice is we've been together 12 years now.
Oh wow.
Thanks. And it feels like an achievement. It really does.
You should get medals for every year.
I think that's what anniversaries are meant to be, but we're not married.
I mean, after a certain amount of anniversaries, it kind of just fades off, doesn't it? And you're like, oh yeah, happy anniversary.
But yeah, it's just kind of realising that you're both going to change. And Mo Gorda actually did a podcast recently, and I love him, he's amazing. But he made something that really resonated with me, was that and what I've realised is that I didn't meet the same person that I did all those years ago, and he didn't meet the same person that he did all those years ago. But we don't want to, because we've changed ourselves, we've developed, evolved, and it's kind of, you're gonna develop at different rates, so it's accepting that sometimes you're gonna have to wait for them to catch up, and vice versa, and kind of realising that you're not going to be on the same page all the time or at the same stage, same journey, as long as you're committed to doing that together and rising each other up to where you're at, then it's okay. And it's not always going to be smooth sailing. I think another quote for you. I love a quote.
Oh, I love a quote.
Is that I always thought, I didn't realise I was meant to feel all of the feelings. I thought I was meant to feel happy. And that's just not true. You're meant to feel all of it. You're meant to be annoyed at them. You're meant to be, at times, as long as it doesn't turn into a deep pit of bitterness and resentment long term, you're meant to feel it all. You are meant to get those moments of oh, I hate you. And then the next day, oh, I love you again now, actually, you're not so bad. And do you know what I mean? And vice versa. So it's just being committed to that growth of one another and realising that, okay, they might not be where I'm at right now. I will wait for you. I think is it Brené Brown as well? She was saying about how you are never going to give 100% all the time. Sometimes someone's going to come and go, all right, I've only got 20% today. And you go, it's okay, I've got 80%. I'm not good at maths. Is that the right? 80-20. That's okay, I got you, I've got 80%. But it's when you are functioning at 80% for too long and they're at 20% for too long, something's got to give, because again, it's that unbalance. So it's really about just constantly communicating in a as healthy as you can way, in getting that balance again, so that you're more 50-50 or vice versa again.
I think that's probably where some parents struggle, isn't it? Because
it's hard.
They don't have the time to communicate because the kids are sapping all of their energy, that they just don't have the time or the
patience in them to try and get your brain around navigating a relationship. And
there's definitely been times within our relationship that we thought, is this it? And I saw Chessie King and Megan Merchant posted recently about how their relationships nearly ended back when their little ones were much younger, because I think in those early months it is brutal when you don't have that time to communicate. But if you do decide that you want to work on it, you do get through it, and if you communicate, you get to the point where you're okay, we've got through this, we can get through anything.
Yeah, we did it.
Woo.
I've actually got a couple of friends who have made a pact with each other in their relationships to wait until at least both children are 5 before they even consider divorce or allow the discussion, and that they're quite happily to just hate and resent each other for those, just because it's so brutal. Honestly, and they've gone, once they're 5, if we're still, 5 years. And if we're still unhappy, then we'll think about it then. Because it's hard to, you just kind of, you lose yourself in a lot of ways. You lose your, there's so many things, but it's just such a short period of time when but it doesn't feel like it when it's happening.
No, I know.
When you're in the deep pits of it all, of postpartum and raising young ones, it feels like forever. But in the grand scheme of life, it's not. So you get it all back eventually, don't you?
Yeah, definitely.
So I'm told.
Yeah, definitely. Well, you've still got a very young baby,
I know,
so you're still in that difficult to communicate, difficult to be a relationship kind of thing.
We're doing pretty well, I have to say.
Well, you're very emotionally intelligent, so that probably massively helps. But if you've got 2 people, for example, who maybe haven't done a lot of self-development work, they'd find it are much harder because they've got to then step up that little bit more, learn more about themselves.
I kind of feel lucky. Like sometimes I think that depression, and my other half would say this as well, depression is probably the best thing that's happened to us in terms of how much it forces your hand into going into a journey of self-discovery and learning skills to cope better and to pull yourself out. Depression is surprisingly the best thing that
kicked all of this off for me as well, because I got the depression after I had Bailey. Have now found out that I've got ADHD, so that
there was a lot more to it.
There was a lot more to it than just depression. But actually, that I had counselling, had CBT at the time, but it did nothing really. It helped. It gave me a few tools, but I needed to dig deeper. So that's where all the self-development and stuff has come from. So
I'd love to talk to you about that as well.
Yeah, you'll have to come back another time.
Oh, is it too much?
Yeah, because we've got to spin the wheel now.
Oh, okay,
it's time to spin the wheel. Okie dokie. So are you ready to spin the wheel of doom? Wait, wheel of misfortune, isn't it? That's what we called it. Go ahead.
Thanks.
What are we going to get today? I really want a rank bank. We haven't had one in ages. Oh, a confession. Let's have a look then what we got. Confessions. So we're going to...
What is this? What is confessions?
So my audience have submitted confessions and we're going to talk about
Oh, okay.
them. Let's do this one.
Exciting.
I once pissed in a nappy. There's more to it. We were out shopping and for some reason there was no toilet in the baby change. I couldn't be asked with the faff of taking my 3-month-old into the toilets, which were further down the corridor, and I was busting for a wee. I knew my pelvic floors couldn't hold it much longer, so I got one of her nappies and peed into it. I was surprised that it absorbed every little drop. Do you know what's funny?
That's
this
good.
is
That's
the
clever.
second time I've heard someone say this.
Really?
Because I had Louise Boyce, Mama Still Got It, on my podcast.
Oh, yeah.
And she took her little one swimming and pissed into a nappy. So I think this must be a thing. Have you pissed in a nappy?
I haven't, but I think I might now.
Yeah.
Sounds convenient.
Mine aren't in nappies anymore, so I've missed the boat. I mean, it would have saved a lot of toileting trips, to be fair. You should carry nappies with you as well because like my youngest is only just potty trained. How easy is that? Just go, here you go, pee into that.
Yeah.
Just
that's how you do it. And then it's cleaned up, done.
Yeah,
you don't
done.
need any
Put it
of
in the bin.
Yeah, any of the gadgets and stuff.
Is this a new parenting hack we've just discovered?
I think so.
Oh my God. But yeah, like they say that's a confession. I'm just like, yeah.
Sounds clever to me.
Well. Yeah, you're wise. But yeah, do you have any confessions that you need to share with us?
No.
She's like, no, I'm absolutely not. I would do that one, to be fair. And the other one is, I confess I hate the holidays. I'm so stressed and I need to pee in peace.
Oh, okay.
I get you. I fully get you.
Well, I've got my kids full time anyway already, so I don't feel the difference between a holiday and not. It's just full on for me all the time at the moment.
When did your oldest go to school?
It's due to start in September.
Okay. So then you still have one that you can't pee in peace. You've got one at your feet all the time.
But it will feel much easier.
Like a little luxury.
Yeah.
A pee with just one child.
But I get what she means. Like in the holidays, it's carnage because everyone's out of school. I dread it, but not because I've got them, but because it's suddenly so busy everywhere. Yeah. And we're like, there's a struggle with busy places within our family and stuff. So I'm kind of dreading it as well. This is a really unpopular opinion. I hate summer. What? It's not because I hate summer. I love it, but I just can't take the heat. It's fine on holiday. I can jump in a cool pool. I can cool down. But when I'm sweating, taking the kids to the park, trying to keep an eye on them, trying to distribute ice lollies, and I'm sweating, I need to get in a cold shower immediately. I cannot. And do you know what? It's only been like that since I had kids. I think it's because I've got to run around after them.
It depends what sort of summer it is, isn't it? Because like some summers we've had recently have been like 35 and you're like, oh, I'm dying.
I can't do it.
But like how it is at the moment, like 22, nice. 23.
That was fine. I'll accept that.
Yeah.
But it gets to autumn and I honestly feel like a bit of a relief because I'm like, a bit of breeze and I can wear baggy jumpers again.
Yeah, but see, I live in floral dresses and you can't do that in the winter. So I'm like... It says my nipples. It'd be like, true. It's too bloody cold for that.
True.
But yeah, I live for the sun. I was definitely meant to be born in like some nice hot country somewhere where I could just lay and turn to leather. That would be nice. Yeah. But no, summer is coming. Do you think our summer's done though?
No.
Do you not? Because I feel like we had it and now it's done.
Already?
Well, yeah, because that's what happened. Was it last year or the year before? It got really hot. Yeah. And then that was it. It was just cloudy and average. Like,
well, I
18,
hope so,
19.
but I feel like it's not going to. We'll probably have another lockdown summer.
What? Lockdown?
When it was lockdown.
I thought you meant literally lockdown. I said, don't do that again.
No. Do you remember when it was lockdown, everyone was off and it was just boiling for the whole It was like the best summer in years.
I was in ICU 7 days a week, so I was trapped with no windows and didn't know what was going on in the world outside.
Oh God, that's scary.
Yeah.
Sorry to bring that up.
It's fine.
Just as we finish, here's the most traumatic thing you've ever been through.
It's just a bit of trauma there. Let's chuck that in. But no, I didn't.
Won't be inviting me back.
No, I will. We did see a little bit of summer, but just through these tiny little windows.
Oh gosh.
On that note, thank you so much for coming on. I will never have you again. Could you tell everyone where we can find you on social media?
Yes, my social media is currently at Mummys Mental.
Amazing.
I'm on TikTok and Instagram, and on LinkedIn I'm Skye Edwards.
And you have a book as well. Well, a journal.
Yeah.
A journal.
Yes, so I've got a journal on Amazon which you can buy, which I self-published. It's a guided journal. There's a gratitude one and an introduction to journaling one. Introduction to journaling one is taking you on a journey of sort of healing and self-reflection, gratitude, manifestation, whereas the gratitude one is like just about bringing more joy, less self-reflection and stuff.
Love it.
Thanks for bringing that up.
Thank you so much for coming back on again, and please do come back. You're always welcome.
Thank you, I will.
And thank you so much to everyone for listening at home, and if you're watching on YouTube, please give us a subscribe, drop a comment and let us know what you thought of today's episode.